Namaste and hello everyone. I am Barsa Basteti, your Nepali language tutor. Today I am back with new tense, that is past perfect tense, which is Purna Bhutkal. Many of my students ask me how many tenses are there. There are basically 5 tense in past, 3 tense in present and 3 tense in future. So all total there are 11 tenses in Nepali. So far I have taught simple present tense, that is Samanya Vartaman Kal, present continuous tense, that is Apurna Vartaman Kal, present perfect tense, that is Purna Vartaman Kal. I have also taught 2 tenses in past tense. They are simple past tense, which is Samanya Bhutkal, past continuous tense, which is Apurna Bhutkal. Today we are doing third tense of past, that is Purna Bhutkal, which is past perfect tense in English. The next 2 tenses in past tense are Agyat Bhutkal and Abhyasta Bhutkal, which means unknown past and habitual past respectively. After only those videos, I will be making the videos on future tense. So for future tense, many of my students also asked me to make the future tense video. For that, please stay connected with us. I will be making those videos in future days. Before moving ahead, if you are new in my channel and watching this video for the first time, do not forget to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon to get notification for more Nepali language videos. So let's begin to learn the past perfect tense, that is Purna Bhutkal in Nepali. As I have said before, today's class is on past perfect tense. Perfect means Purna, past means Bhut, tense means Kal. Purna Bhutkal, which means past perfect tense. Let's begin to learn this tense. Before going very detailed on past perfect tense, Purna Bhutkal, let's review the simple grammar structure. As I have explained in previous video on present perfect tense, the rule is same here with the transitive verb. Whenever we use transitive verb in this tense, we will change the subject as ma changes to maile, timi changes to timile, हामी changes to हामीले, तपाई तपाईले, वहाँ वहाँले, उहाँ उहाँले, उ यो त्यो, उसले यसले त्यसले respectively, उनी उनले, तिनी तिनले, उनीहरू उनीहरूले. Now let's learn the tense with different examples. Here is the table that shows how to conjugate the verb in past perfect tense. Here, maile is the subject, khana is object, khanu is main verb, and with maile, it conjugates with eko thiए for positive and eko thiina for negative. Let's do with maile. With the verb garnu plus eko becomes gareko. मैले मेरो कोठा सफा गरेको थिए. मैले मेरो कोठा सफा गरेको थिए. I had cleaned my room. मैले मेरो कोठा सफा गरेको थिइनँ. मैले मेरो कोठा सफा गरेको थिइनँ. I had not cleaned my room. As this tense and present perfect tense is widely used while speaking, for this tense I will use 2 examples for each subject. Let's do another example with maile again. Sikaunu plus eko, sikaeko. Here, unu verb is replaced by eko. As I have explained before, in the verb, 2 vowels does not exist together. So here, unu is removed and eko is added, which makes the final verb as sikaeko. मैले नेपाली भाषा सिकाएको थिए. मैले नेपाली भाषा सिकाएको थिए. I had taught Nepali language. मैले नेपाली भाषा सिकाएको थिइनँ. मैले नेपाली भाषा सिकाएको थिइनँ. मैले नेपाली भाषा सिकाएको थिइनँ. I had not taught Nepali language. Let's do with timile. With the verb gaunu, here is also unu verb again. Gaunu plus eko, unu is removed and the final verb is gaeko. Here is also same rule. 2 vowel in the same verb cannot exist together. So unu is removed and eko is added. तिमीले गीत गाएको थियौ. तिमीले गीत गाएको थियौ. You had sung a song. तिमीले गीत गाएको थिएनौ. तिमीले गीत गाएको थिएनौ. You had not sung a song. Let's do another example again with तिमीले with the सोध्नु verb. सोध्नु plus एको सोधेको. Here, सोध्नु is the half letter verb. Here, no is removed. The and a, whenever the vowel in the verb is combined with the half letter changes to full letter, half the changes to full the, and a changes to the vowel symbol. If you are confused between vowel and vowel symbol, I have provided the link below in the description box so that you can revise what is vowel and vowel symbol. And the final verb becomes सोधेको. तिमीले मलाई प्रश्न सोधेको थियौ. तिमीले मलाई प्रश्न सोधेको थियौ. You had asked me a question. तिमीले मलाई प्रश्न सोधेको थिएनौ. तिमीले मलाई प्रश्न सोधेको थिएनौ. You had not asked me a question. As in English, we use ask for multiple purpose to ask a question, to ask something. But in Nepali, here, sodhnu always means to ask a question. If you are asking somebody for help, or if you are asking some people for something, you cannot use this verb. You can only use while asking a question. For asking something or for asking a help, you should use the verb magnu. Magnu, which means to ask or to beg. To beg also is magnu. So, sodhnu is particularly only used for to ask a question. तिमीले मलाई प्रश्न सोधेको थियौ. तिमीले मलाई प्रश्न सोधेको थिएनौ. Here prasna is question. So for asking a question we use sodhnu verb. Now let's do with हामीले with the verb गर्नु. Here is also half letter verb. गर्नु plus eka. Now you can see the change here again. Nu is removed. Here is half ra changed to full ra, and a again changes to symbolic a, and gareka. Here हामी is plural form, so we will add eka form instead of eko. Garnu plus eka becomes gareka. हामीले उहाँलाई फोन गरेका थियौं. हामीले उहाँलाई फोन गरेका थियौं. We had called him. Also you can note here another rule. Whenever we use second person in a sentence, you can add lie. Second person means the person who is not actively present in the sentence. For example, here the one who is calling is Hami. Hami is calling to Uha. So here Uha is an inactive subject. So whenever there is an inactive subject or second person in a sentence, you can use lie. Similarly, for the negative is हामीले उहाँलाई फोन गरेका थिएनौं. हामीले उहाँलाई फोन गरेका थिएनौं. We had not called him. Let's do another sentence for the same subject हामीले. जानु plus eka गएका. In previous video of present perfect tense, I have listed 4 special verbs. These verbs are special because their changes are very irregular. Here you can see जानु plus eka. Janu changes to gaeka. So this verb is listed as irregular verb. हामी पिकनिक गएका थियौं. हामी पिकनिक गएका थियौं. We had gone for picnic. हामी पिकनिक गएका थिएनौं. हामी पिकनिक गएका थिएनौं. We had not gone for picnic. Let's do for another subject, तपाईले with the verb चढ्नु. Here is also the half letter verb चढ्नु. Here is also the half letter चढ्नु, but because we are conjugating here with nu भएको, so half tha remains as tha. If it had been the conjugation with eko or eka, the half tha would have changed to the full tha. A would have changed as symbolic form. But here because we are conjugating चढ्नु plus nu भएको, simply one nu is removed and the final conjugation becomes चढ्नु भएको. Chadnu means to climb or to ride. Here we have used as to climb. तपाईले हिमाल चढ्नु भएको थियो. तपाईले हिमाल चढ्नु भएको थियो. You had climbed a mountain. तपाईले हिमाल चढ्नु भएको थिएन. तपाईले हिमाल चढ्नु भएको थिएन. You had not climbed a mountain. Let's do for another verb. भन्नु. भन्नु means to tell. भन्नु plus nu भएको becomes भन्नु भएको. तपाईले हामीलाई कथा भन्नुभएको थियो तपाईले हामीलाई कथा भन्नुभएको थियो In this sentence also you can see the previous example of adding lie in the inactive subject or indirect subject. Here tapai is telling the story which is actively involved in the sentence, but hamilai is passively involved, so we are adding here lie. If you have any questions regarding this grammar, you can leave a comment below as well. You had told us a story. तपाईले हामीलाई कथा भन्नुभएको थियो तपाईले हामीलाई कथा भन्नुभएको थिएन तपाईले हामीलाई कथा भन्नुभएको थिएन You had not told us a story. You had not told us a story. Are you very bored with the long grammar structures? Please don't be, because this is a very important grammar and mostly confused grammar as well. Have patience and learn the language. Let's do with wahale and uhale. With the verb chalaunu. Chalaunu plus nu bhayeko, chalaunu bhayeko. Chalaunu has multiple meaning, but here we have used as to ride. Chalaunu can be used as to ride, to use, or to operate machinery things. Here chalaunu means to ride a cycle. Uhale cycle chalaunu bhayeko thiyo. Uhale cycle chalaunu bhayeko thiyo. He had ridden a bicycle. He had ridden a bicycle. उहाँले साइकल चलाउनु भएको थिएन उहाँले साइकल चलाउनु भएको थिएन He had not ridden a bicycle. Another sentence with उहाँले again. हात थुनु थुनु plus नु भएको थुनु भएको उहाँले हात थुनु भएको थियो उहाँले हात थुनु भएको थियो He had washed his hands. Hat means hands. उहाँले हात धुनु भएको थिएन उहाँले हात धुनु भएको थिएन He had not washed his hands. Similarly, let's do for उसले, which means he or she for medium form. In spoken, उसले can be used as he or she, but for the exact grammatical form, we use he as u and she as uni. उसले with the verb गर्नु again. गर्नु plus एको गरेको उसले त्यो मान्छेसँग झगडा गरेको थियो उसले त्यो मान्छेसँग झगडा गरेको थियो झगडा गर्नु means to quarrel, to fight. He had fought with that person. अब you might have question again. Here who is actively involved, but त्यो मान्छे is inactive or passive subject. Why we are not using here lie? Because here passive subject is used with sanga. If it not had been sanga, we would have used lie. उसले त्यो मान्छेसँग झगडा गरेको थियो. He had fought with that person. Because the English sentence contains with, so we need to use here sanga with passive subject, that is त्यो मान्छे. उसले त्यो मान्छेसँग झगडा गरेको थिएन उसले त्यो मान्छेसँग झगडा गरेको थिएन He had not fought with that person. Another example with उसले again. टिप्नु plus एको टिपेको. Here also you can see half pa after combining with a becomes full pa and a changes as the vowel symbol. टिपेको. उसले फूल टिपेको थियो उसले फूल टिपेको थियो He had plucked the flower. उसले फूल टिपेको थिएन उसले फूल टिपेको थिएन He had not plucked the flower. Now let's do example with unle. Unle here is used as feminine form, so we are adding eki. Whenever you use feminine form for the mid level, that is for your friends, for your small sisters, you can use eki in the conjugation of present perfect tense or past perfect tense. But this rule is not applicable for the high form or high level people such as your mother, your auntie, or somebody who is elder than you. This is only used for the mid level people like your friend and your friends again. उनले बारीमा तरकारी रोपेकी थिइन् उनले बारीमा तरकारी रोपेकी थिइन् She had planted vegetables in garden. उनले बारीमा तरकारी रोपेकी थिइनन् उनले बारीमा तरकारी रोपेकी थिइनन्. She had not planted vegetables in garden. Lagaunu plus eki, here unu verb, so we remove unu and becomes लगाएकी. उनले भोजमा साडी लगाएकी थिइन्. उनले भोजमा साडी लगाएकी थिइन्. Sari is a Nepali attire which is worn by Nepalese women, and normally it's a culture here. If there is some parties, normally we wear sari, lehenga or kurta. She had worn a sari in party. उनले भोजमा साडी लगाएकी थिइनन्. उनले भोजमा साडी लगाएकी थिइनन्. She had not worn a sari in party. Now let's do with उनीहरूले. Here mannu plus eka, here nu is removed, half na is changed to full na, and a is used as the vowel a. मानेका. उनीहरूले आमाले भन्नुभएको मानेका थिए. उनीहरूले आमाले भन्नुभएको मानेका थिए. Here mannu means obey. They had obeyed their mother. उनीहरूले आमाले भन्नुभएको मानेका थिएनन्. उनीहरूले आमाले भन्नुभएको मानेका थिएनन्. They had not obeyed their mother. Here, because uniharu is plural form, so we are conjugating eka, like हामी. हामी also we conjugate eka. Okay, pusnu plus eka, puseka, which means to wipe. Normally, sometimes we also use puchnu while speaking. Pusnu or puchnu are synonyms. उनीहरूले झ्याल पुसेका थिए. उनीहरूले झ्याल पुसेका थिए. They had wiped a window. उनीहरूले झ्याल पुसेका थिएनन्. उनीहरूले झ्याल पुसेका थिएनन्. They had not wiped a window. That was all on past perfect tense. If you have any queries, please leave a comment below. I will try to answer all those queries. And if you are enjoying this video, do not forget to give likes. Thank you everyone. See you in next video. Namaste.